right, so ISIS is existing in the world today at the time of this filming, and also in a previous video we saw that there's an end-time coalition of Russia, Turkey, Iran, Libya, Ethiopia, Sudan, and Somalia also forming. Now, if you're young enough and watching this and enough time is available in your lifetime, it is very, very likely that this end-time coalition will even further be developed. And if ISIS or ISIL is still around, they would probably have these two groups, opposing groups, ISIS and this end-time coalition, would have to probably join forces. It doesn't look likely that they will because of their differences within the Muslim religion. Majority of Sunni, ISIS or ISIL Sunni Muslims, and Iran, Turkey more secular in their Islamic tradition, and Iran as Shiite. They oppose one another for the most part. But here's the thing. They both have something in common. Both ISIS or ISIL and the end-time coalition of Ezekiel chapter 38 want something very bad, and they want it so bad, they're doing any and everything to do it. Because of the Prophet Muhammad's declaration to overcome the infidels, they are seeking to destroy the Jewish people, as was also prophesied in the Old Testament would happen. If the differences between ISIS or ISIL and the end-time coalition we see in Ezekiel 38 can be overcome by a common bond, that is to say, maybe blood is thicker than water, a common bond to destroy Israel, you could see these two terroristic forces actually joining arms together at some point in our lifetime to come against Israel. When that happens, we know that we're probably right on the cusp of the second half of the Great Tribulation. We're right on the verge of some incredible chaos in the world, much more so than you see now. I say all that to say, what are the odds that some of these things we see in the Old Testament written thousands of years ago would actually come to pass in our lifetime? And yet we see them happening. This is a fascinating thing. I want you to picture the state of Texas. And I want you to, in your vision of the state of Texas, I want you to cover the state of Texas with silver dollars, okay? Then I want you to go back over the state of Texas, and I want you to cover every silver dollar with a second silver dollar. But in the state of Texas, anywhere at random, you place a silver dollar with a mark on it underneath it. And I say to you, okay, walk to Texas, go anywhere in the state, pick up any silver dollar, turn it over, look at it, and if it's the one with a star, you've actually accomplished something. That's the same amount of odds it would take for all of the prophecies of the Bible regarding Jesus himself to actually come to pass in one lifetime, in one time and space in history. That's just the prophecies regarding Christ. Now, let's add to that this end-time coalition of Russia, Turkey, Iran, Ethiopia, Sudan, Somalia, and Libya, and let's also add to that a common bond that they have with ISIS or ISIL to annihilate Israel. We can see that this is more than some random joke. This is an intentional, prophetic, recorded, preserved, ancient document called the Bible that is telling us what to look for. And Jesus says, when you see these things, these wars and these rumors of wars, these earthquakes, these famines, these coalitions, these things coming together, when you see these things, look up, for your redemption draweth nigh. For the person of faith, there's really nothing reason to worry about all of this. It's actually bringing to pass what God said would come to pass. For those of you who have no faith in Christ, you're going to have to figure out how to deal with this. We'll talk about this in another video on the rapture. You're going to have to feel like how to reconcile yourself to some of the things you see happening in the world with the Bible. You say, well, I don't have to deal with that. You're going to have to deal with it in person, live and in color at some point. It wouldn't hurt you to know exactly what the Bible has to say, so you need to know what you're going to do about it. How you're going to react emotionally, spiritually, intellectually. Anyway, we'll talk about that in the rapture video.